Welcome back, Landon. Why would we just talking to you, Landon? So, that's the joke here. This entire podcast is going to be dedicated to my nephew, Landon, who is not in the room. I don't know if he'll ever even listen to this, but if he does, hi. I'm actually going to name this podcast Landon. Because he is subscribed to my channel. If he actually does see this, he's going to be like, why is my name there? At least that's the hope.
Yeah, and he checks it out almost every day during his daily YouTube time.
Yeah, he has a daily YouTube time now, which makes sense. You know, like he's only allowed on the up to a certain part at night because then he can start winding down for the night. I totally understand that because a couple times when I've been even in my adulthood, I've slept worse after playing a game for so long because it's just all in your head still. Like I've had many dreams where I'm playing RimWorld as an adult. I'm playing RimWorld in my dreams, and then I wake up going, "Stop! You're not playing the game. This doesn't help you." Or Minecraft was another one. I started having Minecraft dreams at one point.
It's okay, I'll never forget the first time you started watching your channel. And the first thing I thought was, why the heck is my kid talking to my brother so much in his room? And I walk in, it's just you on YouTube watching your video.
Yeah, it's actually kind of amusing because I don't think of myself as a YouTuber. Really. I don't have the subscribers for me to really consider myself a YouTuber. Mm-hmm. I think I only have 28 at the point of recording this and stuff like that. And really, me personally, I think I'm going to, I'll start classifying myself as a YouTuber when I get to 1,000. Because that's when you can actually start, monetizing your stuff and doing stuff like that. So, I think that's when I'll start doing it. But he definitely classifies me as a YouTuber. And it's just interesting. It's also really weird because, at one point, he was talking to me. He's saying some stuff. And then I get a message from Sam going, "Hey, how much swearing is on your channel?" I'm like, "Lots. It's me. Why?" She's like, "Yeah, that's what I thought. I just had to make sure." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Oh, because Landen wants to tell all of his friends about you. So I just want to make sure, I know which friends he's allowed to tell and not to tell because, I don't want to have angry moms messaging me going, why is my son watching something with this guy swearing all the time?"
Yep.
So, there's that.
Don't really feel like angry parents yelling at me.
But yeah, right now he's not home. Not at home. He is with his father having a sleepover, which is, awesome. Because, he gets to spend time with his dad and his half-sister.
Yep. She's already 16 and driving.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another 6 years for Lance.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was actually kind of amusing. I'm not going into great detail about it. But me and Landon were talking about something, and he was asking me why... I can't remember why the topic came up. I can't remember what we were talking about at all, but we were talking about something, and it was talking about girls that are doing fans only or Patreon or stuff like that. And he being only 10 has no clue why a guy would pay a girl to see her. And I'm like, yes, but one day you'll understand. Probably about 3 years, you'll understand. He goes, what do you mean I'll understand? I'm like, well, it's hard to explain right now.
Oh, no. I've asked him some questions, and I get, death stares when I try to, explain about getting older and how that's all going to work.
Yeah.
So I've decided, instead of making him really embarrassed and uncomfortable, we'll just leave it until another couple years.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't realize that, because I've had other friends that I've talked to. Chris, actually, on the channel. He actually has brought up a couple times that he was quite young when he started experiencing, these kind of things. And I'm like, And then, listening to Landen talk about the fact that it's never even crossed his mind. I'm like, the differences in humans is just crazy.
See, and I wasn't so much into, like, knowing about any of that, like, puberty and getting older and stuff, until basically it smacked me in the face. And then it was like, oh.
See, and that's the thing, is the fact that I remember having a crush on someone when I was 6 or 8, somewhere in that area. I remember having...
I had my first kisses and all that.
Well, I never had my first kiss until I was older, but I did have a crush on an adult woman. I don't know if you remember, and I'm not going to go into... Actually, hold on. I'm going to just pause this. So, it was a babysitter of ours. I just wanted to explain to Sam who exactly it was. And I remember actually having a crush on her. Not understanding the concept fully, but understanding it enough that I had a crush on her. But I never did anything like actually more towards it until I think you said puberty, about 12. And like even having those thoughts fully until then. But it's just, I remember having like the underlying thoughts, and it's just weird talking to him where he states that he's not having those underlying thoughts at all. And it's crazy because the concept that as an adult looking at the children, it's just an observational thing.
I apparently had my first kiss in a closet with your best friend's brother, and I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
At a birthday or something.
No, I remember that now. I don't remember that you actually kissing him, but I do remember you being there.
Yeah,
because you weren't supposed to be there.
It was his birthday or something.
It was my friend's birthday, yeah.
Or something.
And it was the concept that I was like... Or no, it could have been the other way around. It could have been the brother's birthday, and you were invited to that, and I self-invited myself to my friend.
Yeah. I don't know. Mom's the one that told me that we were caught kissing in a closet or something. I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, and... Now, like, if I were to talk to him about it, I don't think he would remember it either, because he has changed quite a bit over the years as well. Because the concept that, time has progressed.
Well, it's not, I don't even friggin' remember.
Yeah.
It was just something that Mom always thought was funny. I think that there was too much traumatic things as a kid.
To be fair though, Mom also has a tendency to change stories. Mm-hmm. We were because I remember at one point our mom was telling a story, and I was literally there for when the person told my mom the story, and my mom's now telling my sister the story. And as she's telling the story, I'm like, that's not how the person told us the story, Mother. You changed this detail, and this detail. Yeah. And she's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, have you done this all your life and not known it?
Oh, boy, I don't even know. But I don't know. Landen has zero interest in any of it completely. Like, I thought, like, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
When we first started playing it, one of the rules was he wasn't allowed to go to the strip club. I 100% thought that he was just going to go anyways just to see what it was. But never.
When I first played Grand Theft Auto online, that's the first place I went. I'm like, hey, we're going!
Yeah, I was really surprised in that game that if you actually go there, online, it's actually more nude than if you actually played the real game. I was like, what?
Yeah, like, he didn't even want to. And just like, in Grand Theft Auto, when you end a date,
yeah,
you have the option of going inside. Mm-mm. He didn't understand that either. Was weirded out by it.
But yeah, no, like I said, it's interesting seeing that. And then, like, he was telling me about some of the games he was playing and, like, watching people play and stuff like that. And, yeah. I'm like, the kids talk about the fact that he has a group of people he watched play Minecraft. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, that's great, man. Like, and then I'm thinking in the back of my head, wait till you're 13. I'll introduce you to the group that I watch. because he won't get half of what they're saying. And I'm like, I'm just going to wait till you're 13. Then I'm going to let you watch them. Because the fact that then you start getting some of the jokes, you get some of the stuff. You know, they're not like hardcore bad, but it's just the concept like he won't get most of the jokes and it's just it won't be as humorous or fun for him. Where I think when he becomes like 13, 14, he'll actually start understanding it.
And this guy's kind of universal in that way. Like, he likes his video games. He likes to sit there and game out for hours upon hours. But he still does like his sports and his outdoor activities.
I used to be like that.
And doing all that stuff. So as long as there's like that happy medium and I'm not going to lose him to his room forever.
I used to do that all the time until I started getting like heat stroke.
Yeah,
for just being in like a warm room. Which is what's happening right now.
So, as long as he stays, active and likes enjoying outdoor things, I'm okay with the extreme liking of his video games. But the minute the outside time and the sports slows her down, the video games might have to slow down.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe he'll actually get lucky and maybe he'll actually, be into a whole different world when he gets older.
Well, he's still dead set that he wants to be a pharmacist.
Interesting.
He can go and get me my pills.
I know that when I was younger, I think one of the jobs I wanted to do was a lawyer. I think I probably could have done it. But the problem was the fact that I was never really great at school because the concept that I was just so bored of what they were teaching me.
Mm-hmm. It's boring.
Like, I was put in, it wasn't until, I couldn't read for most of my adult, teenage life. I still have problems reading. If you've watched this channel, you know I have problems reading. That's why, certain times, when I'm, playing RimWorld, I'll just be like, so this guy from this place wants me to do this. Because I can read, his name is just so jumbled of words that it doesn't make sense to me. And, I'm, telling Tammy, how do you say this name? She's like, oh, it's this. I'm like, okay, I'm not sure I can get that. Or, the town's place, names really screw me up really badly.
Yeah, because they kind of occasionally don't follow the proper channels to stuff. But that's why I was going to say, when we do some of my stuff on my channel, I end up reading the pamphlet because it's I'm not going to have to force Rob to try and read this because...
What was it? Who? I think it was me and Chris were doing something. And, there was a name that was up there. And I'm like, so Bizabozonozo wants us to do this. And he's like, Bizabozobozo? What? I'm like, I don't know. How would you pronounce this? He's like, and he's trying to pronounce it. I'm like, yeah, Bizabozonozo. He's like, whatever.
I'm not good at names, never have been, but I can read a whole giant novel in one sitting.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing is if it doesn't pull my attention, I get really bored. It's probably part of my ADHD. So if I'm reading a book and the book is boring, it takes me I could read the same line 7 times and it just not register in my brain.
Yeah, but something boring you can be able to... No.
I literally read a book once in which, while I was reading the book, I literally read the same, I read the paragraph, got to the bottom, went, I didn't read a single word of that.
The eyes rolled over it. Didn't sink in at all.
Yep. So
Was that the Bane trilogy book?
I think it may have been the Jedi, yep. The Jedi in the Bane trilogy, yeah. Where I literally just was reading part of it, I'm like, that didn't actually register in my brain. Cool. I'm going to have to reread that again.
Me.
So, yeah. There's that. But yeah, he was telling me that he's, playing this game or that game, which is primarily right now he's playing a lot of Minecraft as of the recording of this. Survival, apparently. He was asking me how, he watched a tutorial on how to build, a nether portal using the bucket method. And he couldn't make it work. He just kept getting cobblestone. I'm like, man, you're doing, if you're doing cobblestone, it means you're doing this. You need to do it this way. And he's like, oh, wow, like, are you a professional Minecraft person? I'm like, no, man, not even close. I just know stuff. Like, it's one of the things that, like, someone told, can't remember who it was that told me it once, but like, dude, the weird thing about you is the fact that, like, you know a little about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, whenever anyone, like, wants to have a conversation about you, you know a little bit about, like, a lot of things, so you can actually hold a conversation with them. I'm like, well, like, I want to try, like, like, I'm not huge into DC, but I'm like, I know enough about DC that, I can hold a conversation. Or the other day that, you upset me. Hurts inside. I'll let Owen see if it hurts him inside. So, we're talking about, we're doing Marvel Trivial Pursuit.
Oh.
And I say that this person is immune to poison, uses their pheromones to attract males, and has expert martial arts skills. Okay?
Also an investigator.
It is an investigator. Thank you. Who is this person?
Ivy.
No, she said Wonder Woman.
Oh. Isn't it Ivy though?
Ivy? That's DC again.
Oh.
This is Marvel. So even you do it. Gosh. For the record, it's freaking Spider-Woman.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't know why my brain went Psylocke.
No, it's Spider-Woman.
I thought of DC right away.
Yeah, no,
It was Marvel.
See, the problem is that I didn't realize that Spider-Woman was immune to poison and had pheromones. I don't know that. Like, I know lots of, like, really weird niche characters, but other characters I don't know. So.
But yeah, no.
Way to say another DC person there.
Oh god, you guys hurt me.
Good job.
Or there was another one where this is a couple of years back. There was a group that was like getting mad that it was before Spider-Man actually became part of the MCU. It was like during like when the Avengers movie first came out. The first Avengers movie came out. And people were like, hey, you should really put Spider-Man in that movie. And we should have Spider-Man in this movie. We should have Spider-Man in the movie. And they're just like repeating. And some guy's like, first off, everybody that's trying to say Spider-Man should be in this movie. First off, Spider-Man was never in the Avengers. And then Chris like went to like 3 different wikis and went, yeah, he has.
He's been in there.
It just, he wasn't like anywhere in the beginning part. It was
Yeah.
a while into it. And then,
Yes.
then there were all the memes of if you pass through this door, you're an Avenger. And the first person you see in the next panel, like, bolting for it is Spider-Man. Like, he is one.
You know, in the more modern, in the past comic books, he was an honorary Avenger. Meaning he was not an actual Avenger, but because if the Avengers ever need extra help, he can join. But later on, he actually did become a official Avenger. Like, because there was a second wave of Avengers that came out. And the idea behind it was there was New York, there's a prison that's under the ocean. And some guy had gotten into the prison and had released everyone. So the Avengers had to group up together to actually deal with the problem. Which, another thing, that's why I like Marvel more than DC. Marvel, with this story, let's call the guy Bill. Bill is hired by Tammy to get me out of prison. But Tammy doesn't want Bill to just get me out of prison because that would be suspicious and I would get caught. So Tammy has this plan to get Bill to release everyone.
Right.
Because if you release everyone, no one knows who's actually being properly released, and everyone's released, so it's harder to capture everybody, giving me even a larger chance to get away.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's DC where, like, Joker convinces the guard to let him out. And the guard does it. And then the Joker kills the guard. And then he gets captured, a couple months later, gets put in there, and rinse and repeat. Like,
yep.
Like I told my one friend, like, with the DC universe, it's like, let's say the 4 of us are working for Bill. and Bill shoots you in the face, Owen. I'm not even that good of friends with you, but I'm pretty sure you didn't deserve to be shot in the face. So I'm out.
Yeah.
Like,
Strange.
like I actually, there's a person, I'm not going to say his name, in which he actually, like, he's not really a friend of mine. He's more just an acquaintance. And, like, he can be a complete douche nozzle. And even if he got shot in the face, I would still be like, I think we're out. Like, if you're going to shoot him in the face, I still think we're out. Because if you're just having a bad day and we'll shoot one of us in the face.
Yeah, who's to say it's going to be me next?
Yeah. And it's like, you're laughing about this. You're not even, like, taking this seriously. Like, you shot him in the face and are laughing now about it. Ah! I think I'm going home now.
Yeah.
Batman, can you come get this guy? And that's what happened. How many criminals have been punched in the face by Batman? Like, seriously, like. Also, I don't want to be that guy, but Batman being non-lethal is cool and all, but his batarangs are not non-lethal.
Oh, he's killed lots of people.
According to him, he's killed none.
Yeah, he's killed lots.
According to him, he's only killed 3 people.
He has the man.
Yeah, he's killed lots.
You like your Batman though.
Yeah, but even I know he's killed lots of people.
Well, like I said, his batarangs are legitimately, throwing stars.
Mm-hmm.
So if he hits you with one of those things, he's cutting you pretty freaking deeply. And then a lot of the time, he's aiming for your hand and wrist area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and if you don't get medical attention, like, you could bleed out. There's also the concept that in the games are really bad for it. How is he, not running people over with his car and killing them? Like, he's not shooting you with, like, fairy dust when he shoots you with the cannon.
His tires are made out of clouds.
It's like the new Spider-Man game. They're actually like, I love the fact that, when you throw someone off a building, he will make a gesture, or like the actual, like, Spider-Man will turn back and shoot something at him. And then if you actually pay attention, you'll actually see him on walls. They try to capture 9D. Most of the villains that you throw off the buildings, they try to actually have them stuck to walls and stuff like that, as if, like, Spider-Man actually, like, shot web at them to make them stick to walls instead of killing them. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a pretty cool idea.
Great for if police or whatever manage to get there within 2 hours. They're all sort of going, ah!
Well, I think it's longer than 2 hours.
Oh.
But
That's
yes.
usually the average time of the web.
But yes, Spider-Man did make sure his webs weren't, like, super long so that the city didn't have to clean up after him as well.
Yeah.
Because there would just be webs sitting everywhere and they'd be like, oh, we have to clean that up. But they'd dispose after a couple hours.
Yeah. They break down.
But, like, it's just stuff like that. Or, like, originally Batman was supposed to be, like, this average person who just dealt with thugs.
Mm-hmm.
And as time's progressed, his thugs have kind of become more interesting. Like, I don't know when Killer Croc was ever made, but yeah, let's just run around with a giant lizard. That sounds normal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, Spider-Man has Lizard Man.
Yeah, but Spider-Man deals with people that are sliced DNA.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that is actually bio stuff, because Spider-Man's bio. It's actually a thing that a lot of comics do. Their villains and their heroes are usually pretty similar in some kind of form. Like, Spider-Man's villains are always bio and tech. Batman's was always supposed to be tech and thugs.
Always tech and thugs, yeah.
But then you start getting certain people that are, like, more techy and less thuggy. Like, another one that I never understood for being Batman's villains was at least the one form of Mr. Freeze. Because his entire thing was that he wanted to save his wife who had that illness. So he froze her. After freezing her, he got affected by the thing that he was freezing her with, and now he has to cure that as well as cure the thing that she's got. And it's like, then that's where he leads to crime because he needs the money. Well, once he went to the asylum I would have, as Bruce Wayne, I would have contacted the asylum, or at least him himself, and told him that once he is actually out of that, the asylum, once he's served his time, I would like him to work for me at Wayne Enterprises in curing your wife. Because other people, it's a rare disease, but other people could get it. And if you're willing to work for me and stay away from crime, I'm willing to fund you indefinite. And there you got rid of one of your villains immediately. Because why would he not do that? He's not insane.
One of the movies, Mr. Freeze was...
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
Yes. That was a really... most of the Batman movies were kind of weird, so...
And why does he go by Mr. Freeze? He technically is a scientist, I'm pretty sure, who has a PhD. He could be Dr. Freeze. I just came up with that now. I'm like...
Yeah, there's also the concept that if you actually think about a lot of Batman's villains shouldn't go to an insane asylum. Mr. Freeze should not go to an insane asylum. He's not crazy. Catwoman, not crazy.
No.
Ivy, argumentatively, not crazy.
A little bit.
The Riddler, not crazy.
He's obsessed with riddles.
The problem is that they're either very intelligent or they're very meticulous.
Yeah.
Joker.
Super intelligent.
Joker, theoretically a psychopath, but not crazy. Mm-hmm. And not even really a psychopath, because he still has, psychopaths are not supposed to have emotions, really. But he has high levels of emotions, and he's still intelligent, and he's still under control. And so it's weird that a lot of his villains are classified as, these inmates who actually have, mental disorders. Yet, if you actually really break it down, very little of them do. And it's just the concept that in the Gotham government, they just put everyone there instead. That's, supervillains because they don't know what to do with them.
Don't know where else to put them.
Instead of making a, actual supervillain thing. It's the other one is I can understand maybe a couple times thinking that Joker may be, insane the first time you put him in there. But when he can convince your therapist to actually become his love interest and his stooge, maybe he's not as insane as you think. Maybe he's more culty-esque.
Yeah.
I actually refer to him.
She was crazy herself. When you get the backstory, there's things that she does where it's she's kind of off to the left-hand side here, not so in the middle. I don't know. She's an odd one.
Yeah, but I wonder how much of that is actually written in afterwards. And because I'm not arguing that that may have been the case, but I wonder how much of that was written in afterwards to kind of defeat naysayers like me, who's well, that doesn't make sense. Who are no. She had problems to begin with. Okay, so that's supposed to make this, But then how could she become a therapist?
Yeah. She shouldn't have been able to get that kind of job because they have to screen you for certain things.
That's the thing, though. There's lots of jobs nowadays where it's how'd this guy get to be a police officer?
Well, police officers, I think the problem is
that
that
serial killer, and usually that's how it is. You look at these crimes that they do, and the ones that are so good at meticulously making sure everything's covered up, are ex-police officers, and it's a pretty given.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing that. It's just that it's with therapists. I think the thing is that I could be wrong. I don't know enough about therapists. But for some reason, I think when you're a therapist, you actually have to be, go to a therapist.
Yeah, I don't know what they do.
So
some of them do, some of them don't.
I can understand in certain cities, certain backwater places or whatever. But nonetheless, the other thing I was going to say is the fact that after the Joker's done a couple things, you would think that at some point you'd be okay, he's not insane. We need to like have like maximum security around him, and we need to like make sure everyone knows that you're not supposed to talk to him and don't listen to him. And
They need
no. They just fall back into their same pattern.
He's a genius.
They need the Loki device, the mouth clamp and the cuffs.
He's a genius.
Like not just that, but like how many years did it take for Harley to finally realize that she needed to get away from him?
Yep.
Like. In one of the cartoons, literally, she captures Batman, throws him, hangs him from a tank under piranhas, and she presents it to him. He pushes her out a window.
Mm-hmm.
Not even the concept that, he knew she'd survive from it. Like, that's what, like, one of the things is like, oh, he knew she'd survive. No, he didn't care.
He doesn't care about her.
That's why I'm so glad that they've actually got her away from him. But it's just the concept that it took her that long to them to do it. It's also the concept that like, in DC, Wonder Woman's backstory by the original guy, not such a nice, friendly freaking thing. Wonder Woman used to be all like if she got tied up with her lasso, she was submissive to whoever tied her up. Her bracers were actually like restraints and stuff like that. Like basically she was like, in all forms and fashions of things, not the kind of person that she was like now. That and how they've switched a bunch of people to make them more politically correct. Now it's just interesting. Which again, I'm glad that they've done, but it's weird that it's taking them A, this long, and B, how many girls are fixated with Harley Quinn and Joker's relationship.
Lots.
Like, I had a friend once who we were talking about certain things, and I was bringing up how this is a bad relationship, and his girlfriend actually literally said, I don't know what you're talking about. They were meant for each other.
Oh my.
Yeah, that happens so often. It's like, I want a relationship like Joker and Harley Quinn. No, you don't.
Yeah.
That's like saying that you want... That's like saying you want a relationship like Wanda and Vision, like Scarlet Witch and Vision. If Scarlet Witch,
a better one.
Yes, but if Scarlet Witch isn't kept in check, she will warp things until she has Vision again.
Yeah, but that's the problem that Scarlet Witch is actually like has mental disorders. Like if you're actually, that's why also I love Marvel for. I really do. Is that Marvel has a lot of realistic things, like the fact that Scarlet Witch actually has mental disorders, which makes complete sense when you have the ability to alter reality and sometimes forget what is real and what is not. Like in one of the comics, she actually starts dating Vision, which is great because she does kind of in the movies and stuff like that. Well, what happens is while she's dating Vision, they actually have kids together. And they start actually having a family together, kind of idea.
Right.
And that's when the Avengers go, no, time out. This can't happen. He's a freaking machine. You can't have children with him. And then you realize that, yeah, she just made these children up. They're not even real.
They weren't real. Now they are.
No, they were never fully real. They were only a figment of her imagination. Because her powers weren't to the same level as they got later on. Which is also really weird because apparently they've retconned something which pisses me off. That's the only thing I think I have a problem with certain things when they retcon certain things in anything, but I find that Marvel does it recently. Like a new writer will just take over and be like, no, this was never true. Like Wanda and Quicksilver are not Magneto's children. And on top of that, of not being Magneto's children, they are not mutants. I'm like, okay, that's just a piss off. Because the fact is that they had always been those two things. And if they weren't those two things, you'd think that Xavier would have known.
Right.
One of the freaking most powerful freaking telepaths, you'd think he would have known. If not, maybe the next three freaking biggest telepaths who are all sitting next to him. One of them being Jean Grey and the other one being Emma Frost.
I was gonna say Jean Grey would have picked it up too. She was super.
Yeah.
Like that,
like Jean Grey, Emma Frost, and Xavier. all super strong. I know there's another one, but I can't remember who the person's name is. Because, yeah, they were so much child. So.
Oh, you're talking about Reed's and Sue's boy?
I can't remember who I'm talking about because there's been a couple of them.
Well, I know he's like.
Oh, I know, no. I'm not talking about Franklin.
Okay.
No. I know what you're talking about now. No, I'm not talking about Franklin, who's actually apparently a mutant. Because do you know who Franklin Richards is?
Not off the top of my head.
It's Mr. Fantastic's and the Invisible Woman's son.
Okay.
Who is a mutant and also has the cosmic powers that his parents have. And he is, in the future, one of the strongest mutants. Another really strong mutant is Legion. I don't know if you know who Legion is.
Yeah.
Oh. I actually think that Legion, this is my theory about him at least, is that Legion actually has all the powers of every mutant ever. But the problem is that he could not comprehend, his mental state and everything like that, couldn't comprehend it and didn't want to give himself all these powers. Because if you have all the powers of every mutant, you're pretty much a godlike being and can do whatever you want. So what he did, I think, by proxies, used his powers to make multiple personalities inside him, and which had the powers. So that he can only access them when he needed them, and not always.
Right.
And that's why, he's classified as Legion, because he has all those different personalities in him, not just one person. He's a legion of people.
Wow, I must need to pay attention more because I don't know half these people are.
Well, Legion is... there's a TV show about it, but there's... he's... Dr. Xavier's... or Charles Xavier's kid.
Oh.
He is... originally, they stated that he was just, like his father, a telepath and stuff like that, but he has a lot more powers. And, at one point, he's hunted by... Can you remember the guy's name?
The demon?
Yeah. Do you remember the X-Men? Yeah. You remember the X-Men cartoon?
A little.
Do you remember the episode about Storm in Egypt?
Yeah.
You remember that demon guy?
Oh, yeah, okay.
That thing. Him and Xavier used to be, enemies. So he actually goes after Xavier's son. Though, yeah, it's just interesting. Because like I said, apparently at one point, Legion is so powerful that he can actually travel through time.
Oh, fun.
So, which makes him one of the other time travelers. Which is also really weird when you actually look at the two main time travelers from X-Men. One is Cable, who lives in our, or not our, but the actual main thing. And then you have Bishop.
Yes, Bishop, yeah.
Who doesn't live in the actual same future. Whatever Bishop does in the past cannot affect his future. It will never change. Cable, it will. Bishop never does. I don't know if you ever noticed that from the cartoons.
Never noticed.
Oh, I also love time travel and the past of time travel. But yeah, Bishop has always gone back in time, done something, went back to his future, and it never changed.
I like Bishop.
Bishop was interesting. I'm actually, with Disney now owning X-Men, I do wonder where they're going to go with that. I'm looking forward to the idea of Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be rated M this time.
Yeah, well, why won't it be?
It's now rated teen.
Not last time I checked, but...
Yeah, they just announced it.
Because last time I checked, they had stated that they weren't going to... Disney had stated that they weren't going to change it because the fact...
long ago.
Because the fact that if it had worked so well the way it was, why change it?
Yeah, they said something about the whole COVID thing. We're not doing the 18 this time.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Because that could also be just someone talking smoke. Until it's actually
Crazy.
officially out. I never trust any of those things. Because I've been... Because when Deadpool 2 was coming out, they were saying the same thing about Deadpool 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
The entire time Deadpool... No, they're going to make it... PG-13. No, they're gonna make it PG-13, and then they basically made it freaking R-rated, and it was still fine. So, and
So I was
like I
getting
said,
disappointed for that one because I thought it was going to come out and it wouldn't have been the same if it would have been rated teen.
No,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be. That's
Not
like
from the first one to then switch to more.
that's why I don't want them to do like Carnage with Venom unless they're going to do it as an 18 movie.
well, again, with certain things, they can actually get away with it. I was trying to explain this to someone else who was getting mad at certain things. With Carnage, if they never show blood, that immediately allows it to be a teen movie.
Well,
He
at
can
least
murder
direct.
lots of people. He can, like, murder, apparently it's actually cool. But you can't show blood. So if you see him, like, stick, his symbiote arms through people,
Right.
but you don't see the blood come out of them, it is still a teen movie.
See what I know.
The dancing the fine line.
Because
Yeah,
It's
that's
actually-
very fine.
it is actually the one, like, if you actually watch some teen movies, you will see, like, people shoot guns and stuff like that, but if you never see blood, it's a teen movie.
So what is it like?
A lot
was
has
those,
changed
like-
over the years.
Scream movies? Was that?
I can't remember. But no, the one movie that I can actually think of that's actually changed is Tango and Cash.
Used to be R-rated. Used to be.
And if you actually watch it back, it's like, it's a teen movie now.
Yeah.
But no, it's literally, as long as you actually don't see blood, you're cool. And like, sometimes like they don't want to fully show it, so they'll like silhouette it,
Right.
where it shows it through silhouettes. But if you do things like that, you can get away with it. And then you just have to never have him drop an F-bomb.
Or you get a limited amount of them.
Because
Or, like,
that was
any
one of
sort
the
of
reasons that Deadpool had swore so much at one point. Because they were like, well, if you cut out this scene, we can make it a PG-13 movie. He goes, oh, okay. So it's just like, that's how we're playing it? Yeah. They're like, yeah. Like, he's okay, cool. They did some reshoots and like actually made sure he swore more. And that they showed more blood. So that when they put it into there and they went, so how's that? And they went, yeah, okay, we'll let you have an R rating. Because they couldn't cut out enough without actually having to reshoot the entire movie. And that was the argument.
I don't think those movies would be the same if it
No, it
wasn't
wouldn't be.
his.
Well, it could have been very similar, but you have to skirt that line, and that's where a lot of people have the problem, is that if you're skirting the line, it's kind of one of those problems. But Sony also has an issue where, like, they have to figure out if they're going to do a Carnage movie. I think they've already screwed up, to be fair. I think the Venom movie was already a mess up. I think, honestly, they need to, in my personal opinion, I think what Sony needs to do is go back to Marvel and go, hey, can you write our Venom movie for us? And direct it and stuff? Like we did with Spider-Man, and you're going to do with Morbius?
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks like Morbius is done the same way. I could be wrong, but very much looks like Morbius was written by the same people, because, he actually looks like how the other ones look. And also, they have no reference in Venom. They have no reference to Spider-Man.
No.
But in Morbius, they do.
Yeah, that one looks good.
Because wasn't originally that like Spider-Man got it on him and that's what.
Yes. An argument of, apparently, according to retcon history, it was Deadpool who had it first.
Oh.
Then Spider-Man. Then Venom.
Oh. I did not know that one.
Yeah, apparently, it's something that like got retconned later. That's why Venom is the way he is. I'm like, that's stupid. I don't like that part. I don't like that. They have Deadpool being the reason. I liked it being Spider-Man being the reason that he's the way he is.
Mm-hmm.
But
Because that's just the way I.
because I like the concept that it's a we
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But nonetheless, we're gonna end this episode. And then I'm going to go home. Even though this is going to be the first one I release. So this is going to be really awkward. So, until next time I hoard. Yeah, I got nothing good to throw out this one. Don't become a symbiote and, eat your friends. Don't do that. Don't do that. Your friends are your friends. They're not food. Especially you, Landen. Do not eat your friends, Landen. They're your friends, Landen. Don't eat them, Landen. Landen.